Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Fun Pine Profit. Hope you guys are all having a great start to your Wednesday morning. I'm going to give it a couple seconds or a couple minutes for everyone to start tuning in. But I think you guys can see me okay, right? Yeah, I think we should be good. So I've been watching a series of different stocks during pre-market hours. SQQQ, or maybe not with another Q, is down 5% on the day. And if you look at the overall pattern on the 180-day chart, again, it's approaching this general support area of, where it tends to bounce. It actually fell, if not a little bit more than it normally does. So that is something that you want to be aware of, that it normally descends at a certain rate that isn't too aggressive. This sell-off that it had today during pre-market hours is definitely pretty aggressive. Looking at the correlating ETF, or correlating future /NQ, you can see that descending resistance again is still staying true. But again, we might be getting a little bit of a break. So I'm not saying that it's time for a reversal whatsoever. But one thing that we definitely want to take into consideration is that /NQ and TQQQ is definitely a little bit more on the overbought side. So if you look at this on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, it's been showing amazing signs of an uptrend. So that's great. Now the question that we want to ask ourselves is how much more is this thing going to continue to uptrend? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my alert. I don't find this to be necessarily a good deal. So if you don't have a day trade, then I probably wouldn't take an approach in trying to trade it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my break for at or below the middle VWAP, right? And then I already have another alert right here for that bottom VWAP indicator. But let me see what you guys are saying, what you guys think, and then kind of go from there. Here we go. So also, yeah, I also did see this. When it comes down to the overall position for ticker symbol JNUG, which is the inverse of JDST, JDST ended up experiencing a huge push up today. So again, a little bit over 6%. And then if we look at forward or JNUG itself, JNUG with a very aggressive sell-off. So if you look at that 5 day, 5 minute chart pattern, again, it's staying true to that strong descending pattern. Do you guys all see that? And then we could, take into consideration what resistance it might have with this descending resistance that it tends to have. But yeah, just definitely something that you want to be aware of how this thing continues to sell off. And we can simply set our alerts for the overall reversal. So on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, we could set our alerts for the break above the middle VWAP. So we can just set it at around 7:30. Locked in profits before an LABU. Okay, let's check that out. So if I'm not mistaken, LABD is the one that's showing signs of an uptrend. So if we go on the 5 day, 5 minute chart, on the 180-day chart, this thing is the one that's actively trending up, right? But again, just like SQQQ, it definitely sold off pretty aggressively. So that's just something that we have to follow up with. Is it going to actually, so this was one that offered a descending pattern, and then once the market started to change directions, then this thing started to make higher highs, right? Does that make sense? So the same thing with SQQQ, right? So this thing was a descending pattern and then started to make higher highs as the market started to change directions. So overall, we're right around $14. So we might see a break here. That's pretty scary. Oh, there we go. Just broke below 14. So let's go ahead and add or check out TQQQ, as it's the one that's actively trending up. So now the question is, how much more is it going to push up before it starts to trend down? That's really just it. There's no break of pattern just yet. It's just an aggressive push up. And we're about to hit highs of $52, which is something that I don't think it's done within the past. Yeah, it has. 52, 53, okay. But with the descending pattern, it's just weird for it to recover this much. Oh, actually, no. Might have a little bit more to give. Correct. Yeah. see. Yeah, so I'm going to set my alert here as we get closer to that. This might be an interesting day trade. There we go. Let's see. I want to see if you guys have anything that you guys want to call out. I want to see, just because of the margin of profit that this thing offers. So it's either waiting for the reversal on this, so then I could take advantage of SQQQ, right? And just being able to trade that, and that alone would get me to my weekly goal. So that's what I'm thinking. It's 11 to... Yeah, around 11% margin of profit, but that's at the bounce if it ends up bouncing, right? And we're right around that SMA indicator already. So, okay, a couple of people talking about DGAS. DGAS is down about 3.3% on the day. We're approaching this SMA indicator, which is pretty expected, right? As it's been trying to bounce, it's been consolidating really. Do you guys see this consolidation around the 20-day 1 hour chart? So it was acting as a resistance. Now it tends to act as a support. So we could wait for the reversal and see if it bounces around this general area. All right, let's see, Weston. It doesn't pop up with that. I think you might have the wrong ticker. All right. Also, for those that aren't familiar with what report comes out today, so today is the crude oil report at 7:30. Those are for all those that trade like Gush and Drip and stuff like that. So crude oil has been showing signs of a descending pattern and has been getting rejected by this 20-day SMA. Or overall, if you look at this, it's been making a continuous downward pattern, or you could look at the 20-day 1 hour, and it's been continuously getting rejected, right, by this SMA indicator. So it started at around $74, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check that. So around $74, yeah, that's when it started to make its lower highs and lower lows as well. So now we're approaching a general area of where it might try to catch a support. But as of right now, we don't know 100%. So, it could still 100% continue to downtrend before it chooses to move back up. So, here we go. Eric, in the course, I have a video that shows exactly how to set up my TOS. Yeah, okay, so /NQ, right? So we're talking about the potential rejection at around this SMA line. So this is going to be something interesting to check out as we're approaching. Do you guys see this? So this is for all those that are trading TQQQ. How many of you guys took advantage of that, of the push up? And there probably wasn't much margin left since the market opened. But let's see, it's pushed up about 1 to almost 2%. I mean, that's definitely not bad. So from overall highs into where it's at right now, it's up about almost 2%, so about 1.88% and stuff like that. So do you see this? We have 3 candles making the same highs. We have the MACD now descending. We have the RSI a little bit more on the overbought side. So again, it's just the idea of, hey, are we investing in something that's still a good deal or something that's a little bit more on the overbought side, right? And if it's not the best deal, like you guys do as you guys please, right? You invest in what you see value in. It's just that little reminder that is it even worth, like, yes, this thing can continue to uptrend, but is it even really worth it to try to maximize your overall profits for the little margin of profit that it might have left, and the risk that you're taking on because of it, right? So I'm going to set a couple alerts here, maybe for the break below the middle VWAP, so we'll set that alert there. If I can just take one trade, how amazing would that be? One trade entry today and then be able to sell tomorrow, the day that follows. I don't think I've done a swing trade in a while, so that's why I'm kind of like trying to like hold back and see if I can get a really good setup on SQQQ. So we'll have to see on how it turns out. That'd be super sweet. If I could get a full 10%, that'd be good. Even if I go in with a 30K position, that means that altogether I'd have a $3,000 like profit off of that sold trade, and that would definitely put me at my weekly goal. Yeah, so don't force the swing trade. 100%. Yeah, I'm not going to force a swing trade just for the sake of making a swing trade, but I'm just talking about like how important it can be to focus on, definitely a good quality setup. So the pattern's definitely there. We just have to wait for it to play out. Yeah, I'm getting a little annoyed of saying the SQQQQ and then the TQQ. So I'm just going to say SQs and TQs. S triple Q. I like that. All right, sweet. Is there anything that you guys want me to break down? Any open-ended questions that you would like to ask me? I mean, looking at everything else on the day, so not even just on the day, but we have Twitter showing signs of an uptrend again, so that's why it's in our active watch list, right? So congrats to all those. They're still focusing on Twitter. Twitter's been actively trying to trend up. We got ticker symbol DGAS, again, approaching this general support. So again, just a quick little recap. We got DRIP showing signs a little bit of a pullback. Ooh, GoPro just broke at or above 650, so let's check that out. So GoPro, watch out for the earnings that it has coming up. I actually did break this one down yesterday right before the live stream because it was showing signs of an uptrend, but the margin of profit just necessarily wasn't worth it for me. But definitely it is showing signs of an uptrend. It does have an up-and-coming earnings report. This is what happened last time. And yeah, offers a pretty solid horizontal pattern from support to resistance. I just didn't think that the opportunity cost was worth the potential loss, so that's why I didn't talk about it much yesterday. But yeah, going back to DRIP, DRIP broke its pattern, now broke below the EMA line and showing signs of a potential descending pattern. So something that we definitely want to take into consideration as the crude oil report is today. That's in about like 39 minutes. So, oh, you guys are calling out all these stocks already. Sweet. Okay, JNUG just broke above the middle VWAP. Here we go. Again, super aggressive sell-off, so let's look at this pattern. Remember the 5-day, 5-minute chart. It's approaching its support. I might take a day trade position on this one. Approaching its support, and then its overall descending resistance. Again, a huge form of risk when investing in a descending pattern. And the resistance I would identify to play it safe right around the SMA indicator. So it offers a little bit over 4% margin of profit. So definitely something that I would see value in. It doesn't mean that you have to though. So I'm going to wait a little bit more for higher highs and see if I end up taking a position later on. So this would probably be my top pick just because we've called out the pattern multiple times. It makes sense to me. And then the margin of profit is worth it as well, right? So yeah, let's break down what you guys want me to break down. So best ways to determine spikes after hours or pre-market hours in such tickers as SQs and TQs. You could follow the future / NQ to have a better understanding, but there's no way that that I can like say like, well, how to predict it. Like I don't know how to predict it. I can't tell the future. Oh, William, I did see this ticker in the what's it called? In the group alert section for Learn Plan Profit. The reason that I talked about it yesterday very briefly. The reason that I did not talk about this one in the my top 5 stocks is because it has an up and coming earnings report, and I didn't see it because of the earnings report being so soon. I didn't see this thing offering enough potential, and if it wasn't. Oh, okay, so today was the day that it started really showing signs of a push up. As of yesterday, when I was able to analyze it, it didn't really show signs of really an uptrend pattern. So yes, it is pushing a little bit more up right now. If we go on the 1 day 1 minute chart, we could definitely see that it was a little bit more on the overextended side, especially how it closed yesterday. And as of now, you just have to ask yourself, is it making higher highs? It's really just consolidating, right? It's kind of just offering a horizontal pattern. It's not really moving up. It's not really moving down. So it's just something that we want to take into consideration. We could set our alerts, and if it continues to make higher highs, great. But other than that, I just wouldn't force it. SQs just broke above $14. So LABU, I talked about this one yesterday as well. So LABU on the we can go on the 180-day chart, an aggressive sell-off, right? It follows forward slash, if I'm not mistaken, forward slash. No, is this the one that follows forward slash CO? No, this wouldn't be it, right? No, not really. No. But overall, it's a strong descending pattern. No signs of it making higher highs. So I just wouldn't force the trade whatsoever. Can you make a video on you elaborating how you use ETFs and futures? I do have one in the course. I have one specifically just for that. Sweet. Weston, I tried that ticker and it didn't pop up. So DISCA. Okay. Looks like the 4th time is a charm. Okay. So I like this one. This one's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It recently broke above the EMA line and it pulled back, right? So it pulled back and it's right around now this EMA line as well. So now is it going to make higher highs? Definitely something that we could follow up with. I like the MACD. I like the RSI. With its overall resistance, I can call out the resistance to be a little bit more on the conservative side, a little bit around $33. Even from 32 to 33, not a huge margin, but about 3%, which isn't too bad, right? And then we could also set our alerts here. So I definitely like the flow that it has. Let's just make sure that it continues making higher highs and that it stays true to that. And I think as long as we continue to validate that, that's what's important. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to patiently wait for SQ, or I'm going to trade JNEG today to see how it performs. Yeah, it was looking like it was reversing, but as of right now, it's right back at that support for SQ. So glue, we did talk about that one yesterday as well. So let's just make sure that we're aware of that. So glue was showing signs of an uptrend. It is up another 2% on the day. If you look at the 20-day 1 hour chart, it's still trying to push up. But again, is it really making higher highs? As of right now on the 1 day 1 minute chart, I would have trouble identifying which direction it's going, if it's going up or if it's going down. So I would give it a little bit more time until, before I try to decide what I'm going to be trading for the day. So again, don't force it. If you don't see it making higher highs or you just don't see value in the pattern, then simply don't trade it. Let's check this out. Okay, we got ticker symbol ERIC. Still no signs of an overall confirmation of an uptrend. I like how consistent the pattern is. We've talked about this one before, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely have my alert set up. So as of right now, again, no signs of an overall reversal. It's not making higher highs, and that's definitely something that we are trying to look for. So something that we'll have to follow up with. Okay, so a couple of you guys were asking me for what indicators I'm looking at for the overall reversal. So it wouldn't necessarily be on the 1 day, 1 minute chart. So it's actually just made lower lows right now. So wow. But if we look at the 5 day, 5 minute chart or the 20 day, 1 hour chart, wherever you see that pattern, right? That's really what I would focus on myself. So even with the 20 day, 1 hour chart, or the 5 day, 5 minute chart, it would still be a little bit difficult for me to be able to see it. So if we go to the 20 day, 1 hour chart, it makes a little bit more sense. So you could see that the overall SMA line has acted as a support here, and you could see that SQs, right, has sold off all the way down to about where that general support is. It could still continue to downtrend, and just because it's been a support before doesn't mean that it has to bounce there. But what can happen is if we begin to see, a potential sign of a overall reversal, it doesn't even mean that it has to happen today. This could all happen tomorrow or on Friday, or it doesn't even have to happen at all, right? So overall, it's showing this pattern where it continues to make higher highs and it makes higher lows. So as of right now, it's around that general area of the support for the SMA indicator. Now we could wait for the MACD, we could wait for the RSI to start reversing, but ultimately I would just like to see some higher highs to start happening. So even if that's around 1424 to 1450 for it to catch up with the EMA indicator, so be it. It's just some form of indication that it's going to continue to uptrend or showing signs of it no longer making signs of a reversal. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would be looking for. No. Would I say that SQs has a solid resistance for the day or support for the day? I think it's still way too early. And again, these are ETFs. So they're just going to follow the overall market condition, right, for like NASDAQ. And as of right now, that's why I'm just trying to stay a little bit more patient with my entry point, even for my first entry point, right? Because I could enter relatively with my first entry right around, 1425. And then I can enter for my second entry around 1475 and still have a ton of margin, right, based off previous patterns to still cover. So again, I'm just going to try to stay patient. I know that it's still descending, and if I try to get in right now, it's me trying to predict the reversal based on previous patterns. And yes, I can do that, and hopefully it can play out for me, but it doesn't mean that I have to, and it probably means I probably won't. Just because I know that it is aggressively selling off right now. It's down almost 7% on the day, and maybe it could hit being down like 10%. And I'd rather not take a trade than have to, enter a descending pattern. Let's see. So yeah, Don asking, are we serious with the likes right now? It's all good. JNUG rejected by the 50-day EMA. Let's check this out. I'll do it in the chart. Okay. Yeah, sorry for the yawn. No, I know you guys don't even remember to, you guys don't have to like it. This is a private live stream anyway, so no one gets to see the likes or dislikes or anything like that, so you guys don't have to worry about it. But I appreciate it. Correct. Yeah, we did. We have spoken about briefly about the overall pattern on Gush and DRIP, right? So obviously Gush was the one that was actively trending up, and then all of a sudden that reversal changed as /CL sold off, right? And again today is the overall, earnings report for forward/CL. So in about 28 minutes, we should see a report come out, and it's either going to cause a push up or push down on forward/CL, which then should then correlate on over to UWT and DWT, and then on top of that, they would have a influence on Gush and Drip as well. So, did you get FOMO with LUV? Let's see. Oh, I like it. It's been continuously pushing up. I like it. No, I wasn't even really watching it that close. Oh, no. Okay, so this one had a pretty aggressive sell-off and is now showing signs of a potential reversal. This might be something that we might want to keep a close eye on, so I'll add it to my list. I appreciate the reminder. But I'm really tempted to either just jump into TQQ or TQs right now, just because this thing continues to descend, and just go with the flow. And then maybe once it confirms a reversal, I can just, even if I end up taking a loss if it ends up selling off, then I can make the decision to jump on SQs. But just with that mindset, just is telling me that I'm already planning to overtrade, and I'm just trying to enter a position without it really being of value. So I don't know if I'm going to take a position today, and it might be a long day just because I'll continue to get my alerts and just watch it. But yeah, I want to see if I can answer some open-ended questions. So no more breakdowns, just some open-ended questions, either from those that are just, getting started. I want to take a break from the tickers and identifying, even for some of you that aren't seeing value in something today, let's hold back and really not force it, right? I think that's the biggest thing. If the market is changing, because if SQQQ begins to sell off and TQQQ begins to recover, that's a good indicator for the overall market, right? That means that Facebook and all those other companies should then begin to recover. So I want to talk about more of just general questions. So what do you think about Forex? It's just the market that I don't trade, but if you see val in it, 100%, all power to you. Don's asking, why did I sell the GTR? Or why didn't the GTR sell? Oh, the silver one. They made me an offer. It just wasn't at the price that I was asking. So I still would have made, I think $2,500 profit. But again, I'm in no rush to sell it. So I really enjoy driving it. So I'd rather keep it until I get that price for it. So how much are you selling your GTR, bro? So the silver one, I'm selling it for $67,500. And then the red one, I'm selling it for $69,000. The red one's a black edition. It's the 2016. It also has more miles though than the silver one. Thank you, Risky, for all your help. I was. Oh, Brian, I'm really sorry to hear that. So, of course, definitely always here for you. Anytime that you want to talk, just let me know. Wow, super happy to hear that. Thank you, Brian. Let's see. I'm trying to read all the questions. Holy moly, there's a bunch of them. I can't read them all. What you said, focus on locking in profits, not maximizing. Okay, appreciate that, Michael. Thank you. What am I up to today? So today I have class, and then I have to do a little bit more things when it comes down to my rental properties and just my real estate a little bit more. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on that, and then we have a meeting with our team to close out this month and then to plan out next month just for TechBuds in general, the application that we're going to be releasing and all that good stuff. So can I ask for a honey butter with my bread? Let's get on Charlie. How do you incorporate fundamentals into your trading strategy? So I'm not a huge fundamental trader, but it would just be doing more due diligence on the overall just fundamental analysis of a company. So looking more into it, and if it's a good company, if it's gonna, being more aware of like their earnings report, what their goals are, and their overall direction. How do you get the buy and sell order on the bottom of your screen? So I have a video on the course that shows you how to do it when I show how to use hotkeys. With the market being so inconsistent, would you recommend for making good swing trades? No, I would actually say almost the exact opposite, that it would almost influence for swing trading to be that much more difficult. So I just started trading. Full time as a source of income. What are some tips that you could give people in similar situations? So I would say to really just focus on setting a realistic goal. The biggest thing is if you're just putting yourself in a place where it's just all or nothing, you can make a lot of mistakes. So I would focus on something that's very realistic just to get the ball rolling, and then slowly refine that and build it to something much bigger. So would you trade cryptocurrencies? Just not as active as of right now. So I had to ask about the difference between 180-day and the 1 day, 1 minute. So it's just a different time frame. So I like looking at the 180-day chart to have a better understanding of the overall direction, and the 1 day, 1 minute chart is really just more for relevant patterns. So more day trade. How would you plan your classes around trading? All my classes are later throughout the day, so they don't affect my trading whatsoever. Let's see. Oh man, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to read all the messages, but there's like so many that yeah. So Ricky, if you exceed your weekly goal on your first trade, wow. Trade, oh my god, traded since, yeah. So if you feel like you hit your weekly goal and you just don't want to trade altogether for the rest of the day, so this is by Jake the Flying Snake. That can definitely be an approach, or just be a little bit more selective with what you choose to invest in and not be so aggressive. I think that could be another approach. So my week that I had last week and the week prior, I literally made in those 2 weeks what I make in the entire month, just to put it into perspective. So I definitely, like, if I didn't want to, like, I don't have to trade for the remainder of the month, but there's still opportunity out there. It just means that we have to be a little bit more selective. And yeah. Appreciate that, Charlie. Thank you. So how long did it take you to make the Learn Plan Profit course? I mean, I've been requested to like make a course like since like I started TechBuds, but it took me like a year and a half or almost 2 years to actually decide, okay, I'm gonna make one. And it was after talking to one of my buddies. His name is Tanner J. Fox. I made a video with him, and we talked a little bit about like his course and stuff like that. I was really against courses just because I didn't like the idea of people putting out just like videos and necessarily charging for that, because like I shared videos on YouTube. So the decision that I chose to make, and I implemented it from the very beginning, is if I did create a course, it wasn't just going to be a course, and anything that I work on and that is somewhat a course is going to have to provide an extra form of service that's going to just take it to the next level. So like for Learn Plan Profit, for instance, it would be the private group chat that we're extremely active on, and on top of that, the live trading sessions. Just because when it comes down to, I think, investing in any market, and I really do believe this, that regardless of investing in any market, regardless of how perfect a course is, there's always going to be questions. And the thing that usually happens with these people that I'm friends with that like have created and developed courses is they're not as active after they push the course out. That's pretty much it. You buy the course, you learn the material, and that's it. And I just didn't feel like that's really like fair. Like when you're in a lecture, right? Like I was just trying to relate it to an effective like course I'm taking at school. And the courses that I have found to be the most effective is when I can interact with the professor and ask questions in real time. And luckily, with the 2 courses that I have only came out with of Flipping Wheels and Learn Plan Profit, I feel like a majority of the actual value that we provide, of course, is in the courses if you're just getting started. So the course material, and I think it's structured in a way that is much easier to understand. But the biggest thing is being able to watch someone trade every single day. And I think that's a value that, no one can really question, right? Because we do it every single day, and we've been here for over a year. And if you wanted to join us every single day, I think there's been like maybe 4 live streams besides my Europe trip, 4 live streams that I have not actually hosted a live, and it's because either I was sick or something came up. But other than that, I just really wanted to provide the most value that I could, that it was a no question that, the course, in a sense, or Learn Plan Profit was worth it. So we do label Learn Plan Profit obviously as a course just because it's an online product and service, but I really think that it's much more than that, just because I don't know if there's anyone else that offers a course that offers live trading on top of that every single day, just because it doesn't make much sense in long term for, let's say, the course seller, because of how much time it requires out of them for that one-time fee, right? But it's something that I do every single day, so it's not an inconvenience to me at all, and you guys really motivate me, so that's what I really like about it. So yeah, I am watching that. So a lot of you guys are talking about the TQs and SQs as of right now, and that it's consolidating. It's still very early, and again, that's why I need to step away from my computer. I want to close out the live stream because I keep looking at it as I'm talking, and just like you guys just keep reminding me. And I think one of the things that we have to do is just set our alerts and walk away, because as of right now, it's still a descending pattern, and we have to stay true to that. So how are you guys liking the new house? Congrats on your recent success, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, the house is great. It's definitely a little bit bigger, or a lot bigger than the other house, but it's still the same guys, and we just have more rooms to work in. So we have a meeting room, we have an office room, I have my YouTube room, I have my room, and then all their rooms are a little bit bigger. But other than that, we're always just in either the office or the living room, just working on our laptops. So it's not a huge difference in that sense. It's just we have more space to do our work. That's literally what we do every single day. So not much has changed in that perspective. Let's see. William, you cracked me up. So Ricky, would you say that your entry on SQs at around 1420 to 1430 would be good? My initial entry, so again, I would still do the average up approach. My initial entry would be when I start seeing SQ make higher highs. And for a consistent pattern, for a consistent number of times, and hopefully I can add my secondary position when SQ begins to trade above the middle VWAP, and then TQQ is trading below the middle VWAP. So that would be my secondary position. That would be the goal as of right now, but I'll still have to follow up with it and see how it plays out. LABD is showing signs. Okay. So again, yeah, if you've been, yeah, and there you go. If I'm not mistaken, SQQ just made lower lows right now. So it just hit 1372, and there goes /NQ. NQ is definitely super overextended. And if you look at the overall volume that it experienced right as the market opened at 630, the volume is super high and it's starting to die out, right? So once that demand ends up dying out, it's not really the demand for a correlating future, but just look at the overall pattern and direction, right, for the 180-day chart and how it's been descending. It's overbought, it's a descending pattern, and it's at that resistance for that descending pattern. So it makes sense on why it's potentially at a soon-to-be resistance. This thing isn't going to continue to push up forever, right? So we just have to be aware of that. So I just have to be really patient. So Ricky, can you invest money for me? No. That is something that I want to make sure you guys are all aware of. There's a bunch of fake accounts that like I only have one Instagram account that says my name. There's a bunch of fake accounts. If someone says that they'll invest for you, if I'm not mistaken, that is 100% illegal, at least within the United States. So just please make sure that you are aware of that. I know you're probably just saying it as just a joke, but yeah. So, dude, you look like you're in the Game of Thrones with that. That's funny. Okay, I'm on that. That would be pretty interesting to do a video about short-term swing trades. If you could document your next one, that would be, yeah, I think that would be great. So, Ricky, how tall are you? I'm 6'4", 6'5" on a good day. Giveaway details. Giveaway winner will be announced today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's not going to be very difficult. And then what I'm going to do is I just wanted to clear things up because I think I worded it wrong yesterday. So I'm going to only be picking one winner for the $500 giveaway, right? But I'm going to be picking 5 names just in case one of the first winner that I pick didn't post on any social media account, then I'll remove him, right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So I'll be picking like 5. I'll choose those, and then I'll just from the first one that I choose to the 5th one, see who actually ended up posting on the social media account, as that was a requirement, and kind of go from there. So yeah. But yeah, so the contest was, for those that were able to tune in, SQs just made lower lows and TQs just made higher highs. So the contest it ends today at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so we still have a couple hours. But for everyone that's already enrolled in Learn Plan Profit, or that enrolls by 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that we will be announcing the giveaway winner. So you automatically get entered for the $500 giveaway. That's really just it. And then I just choose the winner at 5 o'clock. So that's it. That's funny. Alrighty, guys. So we have 10 more minutes until that crude oil report comes out. I'm going to step away from my computer just because I continue to see this thing sell off, and it's scary that I want to take a position. So I'm going to have to step away. And I just wanted to thank you guys again for the time. I hope the time of me just answering open-ended questions is something that you guys would see of value, and we can just simply follow up with that. So again, the crude oil report is going to be coming out in about 11 minutes. Be sure to follow or just check out /CL and see the correlating ETFs of UWT and DWT, and then on top of that, Gush and Drip. But yeah. That's really just it. So what taxes do you pay as a day trader? Again, it all depends on your tax bracket. So if you could stop asking that question, it's different for everybody. So just reach out to a CPA. That's the easiest way for me to put it. So yeah, Ryan, if I end up taking a position, I'll be sure to let you guys all know. So yeah. All right, team. Thank you guys again for your time. Hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. Let's keep it simple. Let's lock in those profits. And again, one of the best things that we can do is not take a position at all. Take a simple Gush just broke above 22.67. So, this might be interesting. Take it easy, team. We'll see you in just a little bit.